and it feels so good. We're getting back to life and love like we should. We've come through so much, but God's love kept us. Yeah, we came through the fire with new desires. Oh yeah, yeah. That's why we wanna tell you that love is unstoppable. No obstacle impossible. You know it's Robert and Riva. That love is unstoppable. No obstacle impossible. You know it's Robert and Riva. So let's go. Let's go to Robert and Riva.
Oh, thank you so much. That would be fantastic. Oh, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. Babe, that was Don Lemon at CNN. And I also got the cover of Essence magazine. Oh my gosh. I am so excited. So excited.
What did Don want?
He was interviewing me on CNN. Like I said, isn't that great news?
Interview? When is he gonna do that?
In the next week. It's great.
Oh, next week. Do you know what we already have planned next week? You talking about lemons and essence and all that stuff. We already have something planned next week.
What is more important than
Lemon
CNN and
Essence.
Essence magazine? What is more important than that, babe? We are going
Luther
up.
and Stephanie, remember we're going to the cabins and we have planned this. It's on the calendar.
What is wrong with you?
You know it's Robert and Riva. Gotta believe, gotta believe.
We want you to come and join us. Go to www.robertandriva.com and see what all the fuss is about.
Hello, Robert Watkins here with Rejuvenation. And listen, as promised, we said we would bring the best of the best celebrity guests, personal friends, experts, those that can come and deal with things that may make you uncomfortable. But I guarantee you here in Rejuvenation, you'll walk away with some solutions, some answers, some practical advice. I'm telling you, your life is going to get better. Now, I know many of you are expecting me to be with Riva Watkins. Okay, so she's not here. There was a death of a dear, dear friend. She was like a mother to Pastor Riva. She's gone home to be with the Lord. And so that just happened just a day and a half ago. So we're giving her a break. And so you got me tonight. But listen, you're in for a great treat because I have some great friends of mine. And before I introduce them, I want to tell you what we're talking about. We're talking about jealousy, that envious, demonic thing that destroys families, that destroys relationships, that it just burns down anything that's good in your life. If you allow jealousy to have its place in your life, it will destroy everything that you got going on. So let me just define what jealousy is. Jealousy is an unhappy or angry feeling of wanting to have what somebody else has. Listen, I can't make it more simple than that. You just want what someone else got. You want somebody else's wife, somebody else's car, somebody else's life. Are you kidding me? Okay, now you may say, well, I'm not the jealous kind of person, because I'm not a jealous kind of person, but I understand how jealousy works. So I brought on some good friends of mine to tell you how to deal with jealousy. And you're going to hear their stories. Man, welcome Pastor Terrell Fletcher. He is the pastor of City of Hope International Church, played in the NFL. Man, just a great story, great man of God, great friend. He's a fraternity brother. You can tell that. Now, don't even ask for fraternity yet. Don't even ask. Don't even ask.
Don't even ask.
You already know. And so, great husband and father of two absolutely drop alive babies, twins. Three. That's right. Yeah. Three. And so tonight he's also joined with his beautiful wife, Kavalia, that's here with us as well. Did I do that right? I did it right.
Kavalia, you got it.
I got it. All right. So listen, we're going to talk about jealousy, and you're going to hear from her as well. And so listen, she's a nutritionist. She's obviously a mother and a great wife, and doing great things in her city as well. She's actually started a movement of people eating healthy. Okay, we need to learn about that as well. And so here in the nation, in Juvenation, let's just get right into this, and let's just start with you, Terrell. You know, this definition of jealousy, and you've been special all your life from a sports standpoint. You grew up with brothers who there's a lot of competitiveness, I'm sure, that was in your home. And I heard your story that you were the runt of the family. And so you had to work extra hard. But how have you dealt with jealousy in your life, with people being jealous of you?
Well, I think, well, one, thank you guys for having us. We really appreciate it. Of course, our prayers are with Riva and her family right now. But we really are grateful for you guys inviting us on Rejuvenate. So I was, when I was thinking about jealousy, it crossed my mind because if we're honest, there have been moments and times throughout the course of life where it can creep in. You know, it can show up. I was with 5 siblings, and all of us were good at something, and we were unique in our own right. And I would be lying if I said that I didn't have to challenge my heart and challenge my thinking to look over at my brothers or maybe my sister and say, hey man, I want that, or I could see myself doing that. Now, we never let it get to an unhealthy place. But I have found that over the years, when I felt like maybe I was coveting something that didn't belong to me, it was important for me to find gratitude in what I did have and what God had been blessing me with. So that's been the cure-all, you know, for me when it comes to dealing with jealousy myself. And of course, you know, Cavallia has her own story, and there are some things that have gone on in her life that were rooted because of jealousies. But gratitude. As often as I can, be thankful for the lot that God has given me. And you know what? My story is not too bad. So that's something to be proud of.
You're doing good, my friend. You're doing good. Let's talk to your wife for a second. And how have you dealt with women that have been maybe jealous of your life, the things that you have? I see there's a story here, and we're going to go deep here. How have you dealt with, let's just start with the woman-to-woman jealousy. Maybe someone's been jealous of your life, your success, your career. You went to a great school from a great family, and you landed in a pretty good spot as far as we can see. And so how have you dealt with women being jealous of you?
You know, when it comes to women being jealous, I have great empathy for them because I used to be somebody that that envied other women. Years and years ago, when I hadn't come into my own and wasn't comfortable with myself and had a number of insecurities. And so I don't see it the same way that maybe some other women might see it. They might see it as problematic. I see it. I empathize with it. I empathize with it because all it says to me is that there's some insecurities there. And I like to make the distinction between jealousy and envy, because envy is you wanting something that somebody else has. And jealousy is a strong emotion that is really about a fear of loss. It's really a fear of loss, you losing something, whether that be in a romantic relationship or otherwise. It's a fear of loss. And so emotions are communication. They're just they're communicating something to us when our emotions are intense. They're alerting us to something. So when it comes to like a romantic kind of jealousy, it's alerting us to maybe that there's a threat to the relationship that's happening. And as humans, we're trying to always protect our social bonds, our social relationships. So that jealousy comes up, and it might be warranted based on, maybe the conduct of the person that you're with. I don't want to say the man because it's not always just men, but it might be the conduct, whether that be disrespectful or whatever that your spouse or partner is having, or it might be unwarranted. And the unwarranted jealousy usually stems from some type of insecurity that you have, some type of insecurity that you have.
Yeah, that's good. And you mentioned the romantic jealousy. We're going to talk about that in a second. And let me give you another definition of jealousy. It may be driven by low self-esteem and poor self-image. If you don't feel confident, you believe that you're not valued. Jealousy is an unrealistic expectation from others. And let me ask you guys, you all are both leaders in your city. Now let's talk a little bit about relationship jealousy. And you guys have a great dynamic you're the pastor, and I understand that that you are an administrator, but I've come across a lot of couples where they both want the microphone at the same time. They both want to preach on Sunday. In the business realm, they both want the limelight. They both want to be on CNN, and there's a competitiveness there. Has that crept into your relationship? And if it has, how did you guys deal with it?
You want to take that?
Go ahead. It looks like you have something to say.
No, honestly, I don't feel like it has. You know, one of the beauties of our friendship, even before we got married, was we started to see the value of each other. And you know, that's
a great point. Let's stop right there. Right there for those that are watching. And you see the value in her, and she sees the value in you.
Absolutely.
That stops jealousy right in its track right there. Right?
It has absolutely. That has a tendency, exactly what you said, to stop jealousy in its track, because I see and I can acknowledge where she fits, how she fits, and where I don't, where I'm not good. So for me, God had just put us in a situation where we're able to kind of see how we can complement one another and how we can support each other. And for the most part, the line is not blurred for us. It's pretty distinct. She knows, I know, and only in the moments where I decide that I'm going to try to play on her side of the sandlot, do we ever get into a little tip. But for the most part, that's what.
Well, that's another good point as well. So if you try to get into her lane,
absolutely,
and what she does, and you try to be the expert of what you clearly knows, she knows what she's talking about.
Absolutely.
Delia, how have you dealt with Pastor on that?
And I usually just, the thing is whenever he gets into my lane, it's usually. And
let me just say that, Pastor, you I call you Pastor, but you have all 9 gifts. I do want to acknowledge that. Okay, we're not devaluing you all. You have all the gifts.
And you know what? I know which ones shine brighter than the others. How about that? Okay. I know which gifts shine brighter than the others.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Kamali.
He usually brings in a perspective that I don't have, because I come from a corporate space. So now that I'm working in the church and I'm the executive director of the church, I'm really treating the church as a business. And whenever he dips into my lane, it's usually to give me some perspective on how churches work, the church dynamic. And I welcome that 99.9% of the time.
Yeah. Good. There was a study, and they had 3 sets of twins, and they were like 4 years old, and they played a game, and a husband and a wife, the mom and the dad, they ran away from the kids to see who the kids would run to. You guys might have seen this online, and all of the kids, every time, guess who they ran to?
One another.
Mama. They ran to mama. They ran to mama. All the kids, and they did this like 3 times. And so the dad was feeling a little, discontented with that. He was like, "Wow." And they asked him, said, "Well, how did you feel?" He said, "I was a little bit jealous of my wife." Right. So I know I have experienced that a little bit, and from a parenthetical jealousy. And I liken that almost to a godly type of jealousy, right? Where, we're not here to preach, but God is jealous for his children. Yeah. And so I understand that. So for the parents that are out there, and you all have little ones, what would you say to those parents that may have some competitive jealousy for those that are parenting?
I don't usually get jealous because they have the tendency to want to spend time with my husband more than they want to spend time with me until they get hurt. If they get hurt, they want me. Otherwise, they want him. And I don't get jealous because I'm thankful that they have a father in the home that they want to be around, that is healthy, that they want to be around. I'm more looking at it that way, and focusing on the positive aspect of it instead of focusing on, well, what about me? What about me? But this has to do with securities, right? Just people being insecure with who they are in general will affect not just their romantic relationships, but even the relationships and the dynamic that they have with their children. So it's really about, shoring up those issues and seeing why are we insecure and really dealing with those.
And so one of the things that insecurities will do, Robert, is it'll make you think small. It'll make you think within a small microscopic perspective instead of seeing a bigger picture. The beauty is that our children feel safe enough to run to their mother when they're hurt. And I should be grateful for that they're not falling in the middle of the floor trying to figure out where safety is going to come from,
Right.
but they have a safe place they can go, or vice versa. So however it is, I see a bigger picture when it comes to parenting, how we run our home, how we run the ministry. I see a bigger picture that the object is not for my own shine or even for Val's own shine. The object is how do we get a big purpose done, and how do we do it well, and how do we do it with excellence?
Yeah, well, man, that's fantastic. So the takeaway from this segment really is insecurity, because it could be the opposite if one of you all was insecure about who you were in the home and who you are to your children. And so if Terrell, you're the fun parent and you're the parent, the hospital parent, and if the roles were reversed, say, well, how come I can't be fun sometimes? I'm fun too, right? It's like, well, I know how to get Band-Aids and take care of boo-boos too. I can be the hospital parent. But then you're getting over into each other's lanes, and you can do all things. You can do both, and you love your children, you love each other. But if insecurity creeps in there, then it affects the whole household. Would you guys agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Totally.
Okay, and then jealousy follows that. Okay, so and then the parenthetical jealousy, what I call it, and then the spousal jealousy. It's just jealous of each other's career. I know I'm in the marketplace. I see this a lot. You may have two CEOs that get married, and now there's some financial jealousy in the home, or the woman makes more money than the man, and now there's some insecurities there. Have you guys experienced this with other couples, and what have you told them, and what the people that are listening tonight in Rejuvenation, what would you say to them?
I'll start this one off, because as a pastor, you get this all the time. People come in, and in many regards, the man is very insecure, and that's been my experience, is to watch men be insecure in marital places for a lot of different reasons. Because sometimes as men grow older, we kind of let ourselves go, and our wives put it together. They start to put things together as they get older. Unfortunately, particularly when you talk about African-American men, sometimes we are not as prepared for the corporate space as our sisters have been trained to be prepared. So they have degrees, and they have, and they're ready, and they're elevating, and they're moving, and the brothers are sometimes falling behind that. So I see it regularly, but it goes back to the big picture, the value. As long as it's not a scenario where it's being hung over your head or you're being devalued as a person in a relationship, if you can value one another and value the contribution and value the fact that, hey, man, God hooked you up with a rock star, verbally speaking, that God hooked you up with a rock star, and she loves you, and she's willing to share her life with you and share everything that she makes. It's not hers, it's ours. And that's kind of the way me and my wife have done things. Everything is ours. There is no my car, your car, even though there might be one that she drives more often or I drive more often. We try to make it a us thing, as long, and I can value her voice. She values my voice. I can value her contributions. She values my contributions to our family. And both of us want to do more, right. And that's the cool thing, is that not only are we doing it, we both desire to do more. But that value in your partner in this conversation is critical to preventing jealousy from creeping in on you. It's seeing something bigger, that God has placed you with a person that is good in a place where you're not, so that together you are good. You're covered.
Yeah. Well, that's great, man. That's a great word. and you all know who I married. And so we have very similar gifts, very similar backgrounds, a lot of similar interests. And we are kind of like prime to allow jealousy real estate portfolio, or I have more followers than you have followers. But you gave the solution tonight, and that's really is teamwork. It's teamwork, it's keeping insecurity out, it's valuing one another. So I'm hoping that everyone that are out there, that you see a model of staying in your lane, appreciating one another, and praying against insecurity. Would you agree with that, Kabalia?
I would, and I would add something to that, which is not just staying in your lane, but helping your spouse grow. So I'm skilled in areas in which he's not. I can see his blind spots. And so while I have my own lane that I want to do well in, I can use my skills to help him move forward and, move to the next level. And he can do the same with me. I'm not technologically as gifted. So he kind of helps me with my, the technology side of my lane and what I'm trying to do. So you can help each other. It's okay to help each other. And that's when being secure in yourself and in the relationship, it plays a role, because if you're not secure in yourself, you're not going to help that person because you feel like, oh, he's going to get further along. And that shouldn't be a dynamic with a spouse.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be your partner, the one that's supposed to help you, and you're the one that you're supposed to also help. So it's really about that for me, is encouraging him and supporting him in the areas in which he doesn't have the strengths, and vice versa, where I don't have the strengths, he compliments me.
Robert, I know a thing or two about teams. So I've been on teams my whole life. Family is a big team, sports, professional sports, all that stuff. I know a thing or two about team, and from time to time on a team, jealousy creeps in. A guy wants the ball more, a guy's stats are better than another guy's stats. And sometimes you don't make it easy for a guy not to be jealous, because you tout your successes and you do all that kind of stuff. But one thing that good coaches won't tolerate is they won't tolerate unhealthy competition that's fueled by jealousy. They won't tolerate it. They make you work it out, or they get rid of somebody, right? Because your team, we realize this with teams, is that anytime teams happen, it takes two things. It takes assertiveness and it takes humility in order to make teams work. Assertiveness to know that when it's your time, you got to rise up and jump in front. But also when it's somebody else's time, you have to humble yourself and give it over to them. That's why there are different positions on a team. So we try to employ that thought process, that idea in everything that we do. We bring different set of gifts to the table, and both of them are valuable to what our family mission is. Both of those are valuable to get it done. So in some moments, it's the assertiveness to say, hey, God, this is what God has put me here for. And then also the humility to say, this is what God put her here for, and to be okay with it.
Right.
Because my hope is that nothing I do on stage diminishes her, and nothing.
And that's a big ask. That's a big ask to be okay with it. Because what I'm seeing a lot on social media is that I know some people that are watching right now, and they're saying, you know what, Fletcher, I hear what you're saying, but every time I go on Instagram and I see your family, I see the oneness, I can't help it. I'm just overwhelmed with jealousy. Every time I see your wife, I'm just not beautiful. I'm not in shape. I'm out of shape, man. I'm not as articulate. I want to lead. I'm really not a leader. I want to be a pastor. I'm not a pastor. I want to lose weight. I can't. And every time I go to your Instagram page, man, it just makes me jealous, and I'm struggling with it. And so I know we talked tonight about three things. We talked about valuing other people. We talked about insecurity. We talked about being okay with your lot in life, your portion. But the person that is absolutely struggling, and we're going to end with this, and thank you that you are watching Rejuvenation with Robert and Riva tonight. We're going in deep tonight, talking about overcoming jealousy tonight. For those who are just absolutely struggling, and they just can't help it. And it's just eating them up inside. It's keeping them up at night. They feel bad about themselves. Man, let's give them 2 or 3 things that they can work on right now and to really help them. And I'll just say, start with me. And you mentioned the word rejoice earlier. I've never been a jealous guy. Somewhere I learned to rejoice with those who rejoice. If you get a new car, man, I'm driving an old beat up Toyota. Man, I'm going to rejoice with you. I've always been like that. If you got to starting, guard position on the college team and I'm sitting the bench, I'm going to work a little bit harder. All right. I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to prove to God and to myself that I can do this, right? I belong there, but I'm not going to downgrade someone else to there. Has that been your attitude? Was that what you would say to someone who's absolutely struggling? Every time they go on social media, they're just jealous.
Do you want to be the
Go
first
ahead.
one?
You sound like you have something to say.
Well, I just want to make sure that I'm. I 100% agree with that, Robert. And I would share a couple of practical things with someone that may be jealous. Is that it's okay to respect, but it's not okay to covet. It's okay to respect what someone is doing and to be happy for them and to be proud of them, or even to allow it to be some sense of motivation.
Define what covet means, because that's really where we at right
to
now.
Desire what belongs to someone else, and not just what they own, what they rightfully own, right? So sometimes people do see that, and we've gotten the responses of, well, if I had a husband like yours, or if I had a wife that was like yours, and they have no idea what happens behind that photograph. That most photographs on Instagram were not the first taken photograph anyway. It's like 30 minutes of trying to get the right shot for a quick spot. But part of jealousy is rooted in personal insecurity. So I'm always challenging people that you've got to figure out how to love you and how to be okay with you, how to be okay with the person that you are currently, the person you've created yourself to be, because in most cases, whoever you are, you've allowed yourself to become that. And then navigate how you want to get to the person that you want to be as well. Because you don't have to stay this person. You can start doing the practical things necessary to become the person that you are going to be proud of. That might be intensify your education, maybe lose a few pounds, it may be save up a couple of extra dollars, whatever it might look like for you. Getting to a person that you can look in the mirror at every day and say, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. You worked hard today. You gave life your best today. God has been with you, and you gave yourself a shot to win. And that's at the beginning. That's at the very start of what I would challenge people to do, not to be jealous. After doing the self-work, again, gratitude is important to me. Gratitude is important. I think gratitude is the attitude that pleases God. And it's to be thankful for all things, to be thankful for everything that has come in your life, even the difficult stuff, being grateful for it, because every, dead end is still directional if you know how to look at it. So I would also include that perspective. And there are so many things I could say, but this final thing I would say is be kind to yourself. Give yourself a break, cut yourself a break, right? Cut yourself a break and give yourself some grace. Everything that looks like gold everything that glitters rather is not gold. Every relationship that looks like it's got it going on doesn't. There was a time
issues.
Yeah, there was a time we thought Kim and Kanye was gonna make it to the end, right? So Instagram is not real.
It's a lot of lying, hiding, and dodging out there. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So those would just be a handful of tips, man. You got to give yourself a shot to be the best person that that God has shown you can be, and a person that you can love, and a person that you can be proud of. And that's all you can really do is give yourself the best, and you should be proud of that, irregardless of these fake comparisons that we do.
Man, that is pure wisdom. So we're going to end it right there. Right? There's nothing else to say after that. So how can everybody find you? We've got literally tens of thousands of people. How can they get in touch with the Fletchers?
I'm at Cavalia Fletcher on Instagram and on Facebook.
Okay.
And I'm at Terrell Fletcher on Instagram, Facebook. You can also check us out at terrellfletcher.com. Or you can go to our church website. We love for you guys to tune into our church website at www.thecityonline.org. But we are easy, we're accessible, and we would love to hear from your audience.
Yes, absolutely. And make sure you follow them. Absolutely. Digest everything that, one of the things you can do as well is learn from someone that you want to emulate, that you want to be like. So that's great. Hey, thank you for tuning in tonight. We also want you to subscribe to robertandriva.com so you can see the entire broadcast. I'm telling you, there's some great things that are on there as well. We've got some great celebrity excursions coming up, some great getaways we're doing all of next year, and some great empowerment. Got ebooks and podcasts like this, and it's all to help you make the second half of your life the best half of your life. Hey, thank you guys so much, family. We love you guys so much. I know Pastor Riva, she loves you so much. I know she wished she could be here. I can't wait for her to see this conversation. So God bless everybody, and we look forward to seeing you in the nation. God bless.
God bless.
God bless.
Welcome to Robert and Riva at home with us.
Yes.
We're excited that you chose to join us. You're going to be a part of a great group of people. We're going to do a lot of engaging. We're going to have a lot of information, and we're also going to have a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Celebrity getaways, excursions. We have something called the I Do Crew for those who want to be married, for those who are married. Boy, we have a lot of fun. And in addition to the empowerment and education.
Exactly. Yeah. And so when you join the community, we'll also have a platform where you can engage and meet people just with the like spirit. So make sure that you peruse the site, get involved, and we're going to be engaging you every day.
Every day.
So yeah, so we're excited about that. We look forward to partnering with you.
Absolutely.